Hello everybody, in today's video we're going to be going over a big cooldown which is going to be entering parts of the eastern and central United States over the next about 14 days, and beyond that we're going to be going over the very cold temperatures which could be accompanied with that, and then also the potential snowfall threat. And this cooldown looks a lot more potent than the previous one that I've been talking about. We are going to be looking at a much more potent cooldown, and we're also going to be looking at a much colder cooldown, and that's mainly because we're going to be later on. We're going to be in late October, early November by this point. So the atmosphere will be a lot colder, and that'll support a lot more snowfall and a lot more cold air. And that snowfall could get very far to the south. The snowfall line could be getting down as far south as the southern Great Lakes and parts of the Northeast, not even parts of the interior Northeast. This snowfall could be getting down all the way to the coast if some of these model projections are correct. We're going to be talking about all of that in today's video. Now, before we do get into it, let's start off with your National Weather Service page. We have red flag warnings in effect for parts of Montana, Wyoming, even a little bit of South Dakota, Nebraska, Colorado, and Kansas there. We also have some air quality alerts in effect for parts of Wyoming and Colorado, as well as Oregon and parts of California there. We have all those storm surge warnings, hurricane warnings, tropical storm watches, and flood watches, and all of that down in Louisiana, Mississippi, and parts of Texas there. We also see some frost advisories in effect for parts of Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and Connecticut. That's because of a big trough which is currently dipping down into the eastern United States. That'll be making its way out. That is not our cool down. We're going to be talking about the cool down in just one moment. And we actually even have some red flag warnings in effect for parts of southern New Hampshire there. So that's going to wrap it up for the National Weather Service page. Let's start talking about this cool down. We're going to look at the European Ensemble model, which is a collection of about 51 models, and we're going to look at the averaged out temperature anomaly forecast. Now, this would be 180 hours out on October 15th, and this has been supported in all of the models: the GFS model, the European model, the European Ensemble, the GFS Ensemble. Even the monthly forecasts have also been supporting this, so we have a lot of good model support with this cooldown. Now, we have a slight cooldown for parts of the southeast. That's not our cooldown that we're going to see. This cooldown will be occurring for the southeast. That would be probably between I would say probably the 13th and the 15th of October, but this would be Thursday, October 15th. We have that cold air building up in Western Canada, and as we know, all that cold air from Western Canada usually dips down into the US and trends eastward. So let's look at what's going to happen on this, and then we'll compare that to what the GFS Ensemble model has. Now, here would be for Friday, October 16th, and look at that. The cold air is now dipping all the way down into parts of the northern tier of the United States, and I know that the anomalies on this don't look too fierce. You have maybe 2 or 3 degrees Celsius below normal. That's because this is an averaged out model run of 51 models. So if some models have maybe 1 degree above average temperatures and one model has 10 degrees below average temperatures, you're going to get an average of around 5 degrees below average, although there's a lot of upside and there's a lot of downside with that. So there is some models, most likely on the European Ensemble, that are showing 10, 15 degrees Celsius below normal for this point, and there's also some that are showing slightly above normal. These are just a bunch of different projections and outlooks of what could potentially happen, and really this is not showing you how cold or warm it's going to be. It's showing you the confidence in which the model has. The darker and the more intense the shades, the more confidence we have. Now, here would be Saturday morning, October 17th, and we're looking at that cold air really intensifying over the central United States and now dipping down. We still have warm temperatures for the East Coast, still have warm temperatures for the West Coast, but we're seeing this cold air that is now, by this point, it would be in the middle part of the United States. Now, here would be by Sunday, October 18th, and we're looking at this cold air still for parts of the central United States. It's kicking that warm air to the east out of the United States, and then here would be by October 19th on Monday. and we're looking at over parts of, again, the central United States, but now going into the southeast, the mid Atlantic, and even parts of the western northeast. You're starting to see some of those areas starting to get into that cold air. Now, look at those greens. That's really indicating that we have high confidence in that cold air. And like I pointed out in my October forecast, which is on my channel and you can go check out, I am expecting the heart of the cold air to be somewhere right around here. And I made that on the 1st of October. I uploaded that, I believe, on the 1st of October, or maybe the last day of September, and it's not too far away. That's actually a pretty good estimate. And if this does pan out, I think that would be a pretty good forecast. I think the heart of the cold is going to definitely be over the southeast, and I think most likely the interior southeast will be the coldest. Now, here would be October 21st, and we're looking at that cold air now over the eastern United States, and 324 hours out to have this much model confidence is very, very intriguing to me. Now, here would be October 22nd, Thursday morning, and we're looking at that cold air pretty much from the states bordering the Mississippi River and eastward. We're looking at that cold air for those regions, and then we start to get into some of that warmer temperatures later on. And now here would be the GFS Ensemble models. Now this would be for October 13th. The GFS Ensemble model is much quicker than the European Ensemble model, so this would be by the 13th. The cool down is already happening for parts of the Northwest, and that same cool down only happened around the 16th for the Northwest. So the GEFS is about, I would say, 3 days quicker than the European Ensemble model. Now, here would be by October 14th, and this is a combination of about 21 models, just so you know. So we see some of that cold air over southwestern Canada and the northern tier of the United States. And let's play this through. This would be by Thursday, October 15th. Cold air still over parts of central and western Canada, but has not moved into the United States just yet. But then as we get into Thursday morning, October 15th, and we're looking at parts of the north central United States and even parts of the Great Lakes, getting into some of that cooler air. Now, here would be by Friday morning, October 16th, and we're looking at portions of the central United States really starting to get into those cooler than normal temperatures. Here would be by Saturday morning, October 17th, and we're looking at some of those very cold temperatures over parts of the central and eastern United States. Again, this would be by the 17th. Here's the 18th, and it's really moving into the eastern United States. By this point, we're looking at pretty much anywhere east of the Rockies under that those cooler temperatures. Here would be by October 19th, and we're looking at the cold temperatures still over parts of the eastern United States. If we see this occur maybe in December, January, February, even into March and April, we would have a very snowy pattern. And even if we see this continue into November, we could see a very snowy pattern occur. And if you're just looking at this, you would assume the jet stream is somewhat like this, where it's kind of dipping down further to the south, and your jet stream would most likely be like this. So most of your tracks will be tracking right along here, and in the winter time, your snowfall would be to the north, your rainfall to the south. Of course, it's not winter time just yet. The atmosphere isn't cold enough, so you will still see most of these systems be mainly rain, although we are starting to see a little bit more of mixing in there on the models. Now, here would be by October 20th, Tuesday, and we're looking at over, again, pretty much the eastern third of the United States, still under that cold air, but we're still seeing some cold air starting to build up over central Canada. That'll reinforce the cold air that's already in the United States. Here would be by October 21st, and this would be Wednesday, and we're looking at over parts of the northern United States as well as the eastern third of the United States. Still, that cold air is lingering in there. Now, here would be for October 22nd here, and we're looking at still the eastern, I would say, third, maybe even half of the United States under that colder than normal temperatures. Here would be October 23rd, and that is going to be the last frame that we look at. Now, here would be the Climate Prediction Center outlook. This is going from the 13th to the 17th, and they are looking at some maybe cooler than normal temperatures for the south central, but for the rest of the country, we're looking at some warmer than normal temperatures. That would be the 13th to the 17th, and then here would be be from the 15th to the 21st. They're looking at portions of the southeast under some of those cooler than normal temperatures. Still for the northeast, warmer than normal temperatures, and anywhere from the Rockies eastward, still warmer than normal in temperatures. Now, let's start talking about those potential snowfall threats. And I know if you guys have been keeping up with the models, they are really showing quite a bit of snowfall in some instances. Now, also one update that I want to give you guys: the European model, they will actually, the people who have the rights to the European model will be actually releasing some graphics to be free. So on websites like free websites such as Tropical Tidbits, Pivotal Weather, I know a lot of you guys use those type of websites. They will have some snowfall maps and precipitation type maps even on Tropical Tidbits. I know they were already out on Pivotal Weather for free, but they will be making it a lot more available. So before, you had to go behind a paywall, you had to buy a subscription service to access them. Now, over the next few weeks, I assume they will be making this a lot more accessible to the general public. Now, here would be the GFS Ensemble model. This is going out 384 hours, about 16 days, all the way until October 24th. We're seeing a lot of that snowpack building in parts of the interior northeast, and also for parts of the Great Lakes, the Midwest, and into the Rockies there. Now, here would be for the European Ensemble model, and what it's showing. The European Ensemble model, again, a collection of about 51 models, shows some snowfall for portions of the Great Lakes, the Ohio Valley, and then down through the Central Plains, where it's also showing some snowfall, and also into the Rockies. Now, here would be the GFS model. We're gonna look at the past 4 runs of that. Here would be going out 16 days for each run. We're looking at some snowfall and quite a bit of snowfall actually for parts of the Great Lakes and the interior northeast, as well as portions of the Ohio Valley. Now, here would be for October 23rd by the same time, and this would be the next run of the GFS, and we're looking at some snowfall over parts of the interior northeast, scattered snowfall for the Great Lakes, and some snowfall for the northern and central Rockies. Let's go through another one, and we're looking at this is going through October 24th, and we're looking at the the second to last previous model run of the GFS, and we're looking at some interior northeast snowfall. And then let's look at the most recent one, and we're looking at this one only out 186 hours, but we are starting to see some of that snowfall in parts of the northern Rockies. Now, another model that I want to look at here is the European Ensemble 45-day run, and some of those individual models have quite a bit of snowfall even further to the south. But once you get above 2 inches, that's where you have a decent chance of getting some snowfall. So for the interior northeast, the northern and central Great Lakes, and then all throughout the interior mountainous west, you guys have a pretty good chance of seeing some snowfall over the next 45 days. This will go through November 19th, and some individual runs of the European Ensemble model have a lot more snowfall. Now, that is going to wrap it up for today's video. Please consider liking the video, subscribing, and turning on notifications, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.